Willkommen, welcome, bienvenue. La radio du festival Bildrausch.
Vous l'avez désormais compris, Filmexplorer s'est mué en radio le temps du festival Bildrausch à Bâle. Et c'est déjà l'heure de clore cette série d'émissions avec nos deux derniers invités, le duo de cinéastes argentins Luciana Acuña et Alejo Moguillansky. Bonjour à vous deux. Et bien sûr Cléo, bien sûr. On va pas l'oublier. Qui viennent donc tous les trois nous parler de leur film La Edad Media, concourant tout comme Béatrix dans la section internationale. Alors, si Béatrix effleurait indirectement l'idée de confinement, dans La Edad Media, le sujet est beaucoup plus ouvertement traité puisque le film a été réalisé pendant cette pandémie de coronavirus qui nous a mondialement touchés. Et il montre les semaines d'isolement forcé d'une famille d'artistes dans une maison de Buenos Aires et la manière extrêmement créative, poétique et humoristique avec laquelle chacun va tâcher de réenchanter ce temps suspendu, angoissé, incertain. La Edad Media est une comédie qui réactive les mécanismes du burlesque, du cinéma des premiers temps. On pense autant à Georges Méliès qu'à Buster Keaton. Mais comme ce sont les cinéastes eux-mêmes qui parlent le mieux de leur film, eh bien je laisse Ruth, Baettig et Giuseppe di Salvatore entamer le dialogue avec nos invités. Ruth et Giuseppe, c'est à vous.
This collection of absurd moments in this daily life in your house, kind of tragic comedy. I'm curious to hear about how you did this collaboration.
We had co-directed a short film or medium length film previously. Besides that, we have collaborated several times between Luciana's plays, theater plays or dance plays where I somehow intervene, and the same happens in my own in the films I direct, where Luciana, perhaps she's an actress, but she's always like someone which is secretly co-directing. So in La Edad Media, well, we all know what happened to every one of us during the quarantine. This quarantine in our country, Argentina, lasted like 8 months or something like that, or 9 months. It was like a record. We have the record of the length in quarantine. We started to shoot because the necessity to survive, to survive artistically and cinematographically. And because this is what we do, this is how we met, this is how we work, and this is we are a family. Yes, we're a couple. We have Cleo, which is here with us, but we are mainly workers. This is just what we need to do to keep on existing. We just started to shoot, and as there was no script, there was no planification, we just stood there and think whatever we have, like the desire to shoot or the necessity to shoot, without being pedagogic about the situation of the quarantine, without being pedagogic about the situation of coronavirus, but at the same time making fiction from this tremendously particular situation. It's like a film that has born in a dramatically situation which was already surrealist and moves into fiction.
This was a context,
yes,
for the fiction. This idea to create moments and to collect these moments, there is a kind of distance also for the spectator. So I can jump in this absurdity of the daily life. Perhaps it's also why, because it's this dog is there with his eyes, he's looking around.
Yeah, about this distance, because from the very beginning, the dog, as you say, Ruth, creates a sort of distance. Her way to look at you is a sort of, okay, what are you doing now? So was at the very beginning the idea to integrate her and how to use her as a tool in the film?
Sí, creo que la mirada de Juana es como la mirada del espectador.
I think
viendo la extrañeza de una familia en esa situación de convivencia.
I think Juana's point of view is like the spectator point of view regarding and witnessing the how strange can be a family life.
How was your decision to take yourself as an actor or as yourself? Because you play in between, in a sense.
Yeah.
In a sense, you are actor overact, and in other sense, you are really yourself in your normal life. So, how was the decision at the very beginning to say, okay, what are we doing when the camera is shooting?
No, creo que no es la primera película en la que sucede esto.
It's not the first film that this happens.
En varias de tus películas los personajes se llaman como sus propios nombres.
In several films that we made, the characters are named with their
Y si
real
bien,
names.
y si bien son ficciones, podrían también ser ellos mismos.
And even their fiction characters, they could be the real
Entonces,
version of themselves.
siempre caminan en ese borde entre la ficción y el documental, que es un borde que a nosotros nos interesa también.
And these characters are always walking in this border side between fiction and documentary. It's a border that evidently interests us.
O nos interesa en términos que siempre sea ficción.
It's interesting in terms of fiction.
Porque tampoco creo que sea tan interesante nuestra vida. Siempre tomamos nuestra vida para poder contar otra cosa o para poder volar hacia cualquier lugar que no tenga que ver directamente con nosotros.
Because it's not that our lives are so interesting, but it's just like a starting point to fly and to imagine possible fictions. It's like painting, no? Because in painting you don't mind that much if something is documentary or fiction. Who can say that a painting is documentary and at the same time it is documentary, no? So perhaps I would say that our films or our narrators think in that way, no? With the idea of portraying some people in the same level as a painting can portray someone, no? Or an action or a word or a dance or whatever. We started from that particular point, which is not a story, which is not an argument, which is not a script, but is something deeply raw, no? In terms of cinematographic images, something that is interesting for some reason. Can be an interview, can be a dream, can be someone hitting the face, can be an English class, can be whatever. And from that particular raw materials, which are in the border, I insist on fiction and documentary, but most of the times are very performative situations. So, or real dreams that one had, and we intervene here and there to make it like an interview, and it is an interview that has happened before the moment of shooting. When we reach that particular moments that are like the heart of the film, or the several hearts of a film, our work is to make bridges, no, between them.
How you construct, how you build up the film, the physical part, and then you on the editing table. This process of editing and the process of shooting, and how the scene was constructed because you did an editing before.
It's a bit irresponsible, no? The strategy, because you work a lot. It has a lot to do with what we were saying before, no? You create a situation, you create an image. After you shoot it, you have to understand that scene, no? And you have to understand like the counter shot of that scene, no? And the counter shot is always you. It's always you with the camera, and you have to avoid that image and to make a new fiction image which is better than that one. So, in a sense, it's like an act of understanding an image and going to the previous one or to the next one, which is something that happens in the editing room. No, there is no script in these films, or there is a script that can be written after the editing moment. It's a big struggle, and at the same time, it's funnier than shooting a script as if you were a musician playing a score. Because in a moment it's just virtuosism what you can do with the script. It's just sport. It's just performative. No, it's just speedness. It's just etc. And here is like the editing and the shooting time and the writing time is almost the same moment of creation, which is somehow perhaps against the specialization that the industry has now, no? And perhaps we try to see a cinematographer more like a Renaissance artist that could make everything, could act, could shoot, and could edit. Well, in the Renaissance there was no filmmakers, but I would like to think about Renaissance filmmakers in that way. It's true that Luciana is, for me, is like a tremendous actress. I don't consider myself an actor, but I have acted in many films and even in theater pieces. And Cleo is wonderful.
In a way, she's the actress.
Well, she's the main actress of this film.
Yeah, I will jump on this point about Cleo, because in a sense you both, I mean, the parents, you act and consciously overact. You want to perform this tradition of slapstick. In the contrary, I have the impression that your daughter is a very credible actress.
Well, thank you, because I really appreciate. It was so funny. Like, all the day I wake up and my dad says to shoot something, and I was like, yes. And then all the school Zooms too, I do it, and it was so like a new experience and a good experience. It was so great because I was, like I say in the movie, boring at the quarantine, and this was like entertainment for me, and an entertainment for don't was all the day at the computer and interact with my family in a funny way.
Did they teach you something about how to act, or is it just natural by you?
It was like 50-50 because I try things and my dad or my mom too, but it was usual my dad do it. They say like, I like this, but you can change this and make this, and it was great because then I make a comparison and it's so better how they teach me so much, and it was 50-50.
It's a film when you are always hearing the scene that is happening next to our scene, right? If you're in the living room, you are hearing what happens in the studio, etc. It has a lot to do with the rhythm and with the editing itself, and many times that is replacing music. How complex can be the sound work, the sound editing, and to have two scenes answering each other, even if you're not seeing one of them.
Tanto en el sonido, que es evidente, como en otras situaciones tratamos como de exacerbar las situaciones ya extrañas de por sí que se vivían en la cuarentena.
In sound and also in terms of image, we try to exaggerate the strangeness of the situations that are already strange.
La convivencia de los de tres mundos a la vez.
The coexistence of 2 or 3 worlds at the same time.
Tratar de mantener como el físico.
And try to keep
del entrenamiento,
the
y también
body,
todo era muy exacerbado. No ocurría en nuestra casa que Cleo estaba haciendo un zoom y yo le estaba pegando a la boca.
That didn't happen, that Cleo was doing a zoom and I was kicking the ball. But yes and no, because, and when I say we were shooting a film, it means that during maybe a school Zoom, Lou and I were preparing a scene which would take place immediately after the school Zoom, etc. No, so
Cleo actuaba de sí misma en un Zoom.
And Cleo was acting as herself while making a Zoom. We're making a real Zoom, and she was acting, and perhaps even her teacher didn't know that she was acting. It's like the exercise of finding fiction, no, in places that You didn't know that it was fiction. And at the same time, this happened in our own house. It was like during 8 or 9 months to have like your own set, your own studio. No, if a producer comes to you, say, okay, you have for 8 months the crew and the actors already there. You can do whatever you want. It was like in that sense, it was like a privileged situation.
I would like to come back to what you told before about the methodology, this special way to go back and forth, editing table and shooting. No? And I would like to connect this with what you told us about painting. So probably it's the only way or one of the best way to think cinema in terms of painting is exactly not writing it.
I mean, a theater company or a dance company works that way, no? Also, it's tricky that cinema doesn't work that way anymore. When it started to work, it born working that way. With Chaplin didn't have a script. Buster Keaton, they develop an idea and develop. Perhaps Keaton have more like planified sequences, but you think about Chaplin. Chaplin had nothing. Chaplin just, they went to work each day till they have something interesting for them. Why is it that cinema isn't that anymore? Is the question. No, why? It's strange. It's a strange situation because, I mean, experimentation can be an entertainment. Yeah. They think about Jacques Tati.
Is it really a theme? Because one of the theme of the film is this idea that the pandemic give you the possibility or the opportunity to change something. And it's really a theme, the theme of the film. So did you think now it's a sort of message or a sort of proposal to think post-pandemic cinema in terms of coming back to Méliès or I don't know?
Creo que no.
I think no.
Como nuestra manera de filmar era así antes de esto también.
Yes,
y no creo que los directores o el cine de guión modifiquen algo.
Our way of
manera
shooting was like that before pandemic, and Luces, I don't think producers will change this. Well, if we look at the platforms, they're working exactly the opposite way. No, platforms are like the script
first
and
the guion, the
and
script,
and
then film, and then
the
editing. Is very programmatic the way.
It's like the argument dictatorship. No, it's like where the producers can control you and control you and control you even more and more and more and more, and these script doctors and advisors and etc. It's like it's getting really boring filmmaking, and we can see that the film to be screened in the theaters is trying to imitate that film produced by the platforms and try to give like a competence. And it would have to be exactly the opposite way, I would say.
Your film is really an experience to have in the cinema theater, and everybody can have it. So it's just a reflection I have, and I'm searching really a kind of film where I can have an experience.
I believe in irresponsibility, and if you have like a good scene or a good sequence, perhaps you have to create a film that surrounds that scene, no? And if you have to create a film that surrounds that scene, you have the obligation that the film is such as good as the sequence, or such as good as as that shot, no? And there were many times that this happened. I mean, in our films, it happened always. I would say, no. You have that last sequence that you know that if you try to build the path to that sequence, the film will be perfect. Not perfect, but great.
Sí. También me parece que había algo, hubo un momento donde nos dimos cuenta que los materiales que estábamos construyendo podían ser una película.
There was a particular moment when we realized that the materials that we were creating could be a film.
Entonces empezamos a a pensarlo como una película.
So we started to think about it as a film.
Y en ese momento nos dimos cuenta que éramos nosotros que también estábamos desnudando nuestra vida en esa película.
So in that moment we realized that it was us who were getting naked to make this picture possible.
Entonces no teníamos opción de que salga mal,
So
porque
we had,
estábamos demasiado expuestos como artistas y como personas, y exponíamos demasiado nuestra familia, nuestra hija.
we had not the option to that the film was bad. We were exposing too much our own lives, our private world, our house, our daughter, our dog.
You spoke about the center of the film, and what spontaneously one think about the scene in the bathroom where something other of that is not only humorous or light, that is more existential and deep, I would say. Is this the scene that you are thinking a sort of center or a sort of motor of the rest of the film?
El centro se mueve entre la escena del baño y Hold On, ¿no? Como
The
es-
center is moving between that scene in the bathroom and in the long previous sequence with Tom Waits' song like treated as a leitmotiv of the existence, I would say. Like a leitmotiv of the existence, yes.
Aparte, en esa escena como esa escena es fundamental en la película porque funda de alguna manera la pregunta que nos hacíamos como artistas en ese momento de la pandemia, que es ¿qué hacemos ahora? ¿Cuál es nuestro arte? Si no hacemos esto, ¿a dónde estamos nosotros? ¿Quiénes somos? En la película también se pregunta.
That bathroom scene, yes, it's important because it's evidently that shows our particular question in that time, which was basically if we are not doing what we do, who are we? Why keep on trying to do what we did before and we don't do anymore?
¿Cómo es nuestro arte a partir de ahora?
And how is our art from this starting point? I would say, yes, sorry, I would like to add that it's a film that is concerned about present, no? And it's a film that knows that the past is your consciousness, but it's not. It's no more than that. No, the past is what you are, what you were.
What is interesting in this film is this double level. So it's a level where you can enjoy the film and the slapstick and the light aspects and the funny, the idea also that is in the center with your daughter, the plot and so. And the other side is this existential philosophical question: where are we? What we should do after this? And what is the role of the artist? I think this is a very important aspect.
Creo que sí, que esas preguntas filosóficas o existenciales eran fuertes o importantes para nosotros en la película.
I think that philosophical questions were particularly important for us in the film.
Pero tampoco queríamos tratar a la película de una manera solemne. Entonces por eso creo que el centro de la película es Cleo y su trajín con el telescopio y no las preguntas filosóficas que están alrededor de eso.
Besides that, we didn't want to make this film like a solemn film. Perhaps for that reason, Cleo is the real center of the film and her story with the telescope, with the moon.
Y ese deseo sobre el telescopio era tanto o más importante que nuestras preguntas sobre el arte.
And that desire with the telescope, it was much important than our own questions around art.
The last question, Cleo, would you like to go on doing films? Would you like to be another actress in another film of your parents?
I think that yes, because I really like how I feel. But I don't know, maybe in the future I want to do another thing. But I think that yes, I want to continue acting.
Bon, bah, on espère revoir Cléo à l'écran. Un grand merci à Cléo, que je n'oublie pas cette fois, à Luciana et à Alejo pour ce moment d'échange autour de leur film La Edad Media. Voilà, c'était Filmexplorer dans sa configuration radio pour la 11e édition du festival Bildrausch à Bâle. Merci à Giuseppe, merci à Ruth, merci à Jean, merci à Emilien et merci à Olivier. De chaleureux remerciements également aux équipes du festival pour leur bel accueil et à très vite sur les ondes de Filmexplorer.
Merci.
Merci beaucoup.
Welcome, bienvenue. La radio du festival Bildrausch. Fire in the sky,